Hi, everyone. We are preparing speech number 1, and I wanted to talk through a few things to remind you to pay attention to as you are drafting and practicing speech 1. So you'll be delivering speech 1 by Sunday, June 25th. And for this first speech, you do not need to have an audience. You will simply be recording it as I am recording mine to you. A few things to remember as you set up your recording situation. Check your lighting, make sure that we can clearly see you and your face and your facial expressions. Having you in the frame about how I'm framed up from shoulders up is preferable. We don't need to see your entire body, and you don't need to stand, but you certainly can if you prefer. And again, making sure that there's a decent light source shining on you so that we can easily see you, your eyes, and your facial expressions. You also want to make sure that you are recording in an area that is relatively free of distractions. So if you are in your own home, asking people to be quiet for a few moments, make sure that radios and TVs are off, trying to get pets and kids out of the scene, just so that we can focus on you and your presentation. I know that this can be challenging when you're in your own home. I've had students who've recorded in their bathrooms, recorded in a closet, so long as you have a decent light source and that we are able to hear you okay. You will probably want to test your setup just to make sure that it's to your liking, and you might want to record a few test videos. Please do note that I'm not looking for you to edit your videos. I don't want you to edit your videos. It should be done as one take, just as you would if you were presenting in a classroom. So please don't use any editing software to stitch together your presentation. It should just be one take and then you submit it. As you might have discovered when you were recording your introductions, sometimes large video files can take a while to upload. So keep that in mind as you submit your assignment. And don't forget, you do have the option to create a free and unlisted YouTube channel that you can simply upload your videos to YouTube and post the URL. It makes posting a little bit more quick. This first speech is informative, so you are informing your audience about something that is of interest to you, and you had a pretty broad range of topics to choose from. One thing to remember is that you want to keep it informative. You want to educate us about the topic. You do not want to persuade us about the topic. That comes with speech number 2. And so remember, you're not taking a stance on an issue necessarily. You're not trying to get your audience to do something or believe something or buy something. You are simply presenting your audience with information so that they can make better decisions. And that is the subtle difference between informative and persuasive speaking. Trying to just simply educate. So think of yourself somewhat as the instructor or educator on the topic. You are bringing awareness to your audience about it. And hopefully you're picking topics that you are invested in, you're passionate about. And as you are looking at the materials that you've read in the first few weeks, you know that having that built-in passion already will come through when you deliver your presentation. This is one of the lower point speeches that you'll do. So hopefully it's a little less intimidating or fewer stakes, if you will. A few things that I do really look for when you do present this first speech is I want you to really focus on not reading it. You have a preparation or sentence outline that you write and you submit to Blackboard for me to review. This is the content of your speech. This is everything you hope that you would say in the speech, and it gives you a framework to build from. It is not what you want to have in front of you, though, when you're presenting. So make sure that you don't have your entire speech outline in front of you. Instead, I've posted under the assignments at the very top, speech assignments folder, I've posted a keyword outline template that you can use. And this is for you to write keywords and phrases that will help you get through your speech. And once you've practiced it enough time, it will start to be committed to memory. This is not to say that you should memorize your speech, because that comes with its own pitfalls, but have it practiced enough that you're comfortable with the cadence, with the flow of what comes next, and you don't need to rely on reading it word for word. When we are speaking publicly, except for special occasion speeches, we are typically striving for extemporaneous delivery, which means that we are being more conversational. And it is as though we are having a conversation with our audience. It feels more informal, it feels more conversational, it feels more like you are actually connecting more with your audience than standing up and presenting and reading everything. You just don't get a lot of connection that way. And when you read your speech, it tends to do a few things to your presentation. It will speed up the rate in which you speak, so you'll start to talk more quickly. It will affect the tone of your voice, so your voice will tend to sound a bit more monotone, and it will decrease your eye contact with your audience. It takes a bit of practice to remember to focus on looking at your camera instead of yourself in the viewfinder. And it's natural, especially if we've done a lot of Microsoft Teams or Zoom meetings where we're trying to look at everybody on the screen. But for this class and for your presentations, remember you are focusing on your audience, which is through that tiny little dot in your camera, wherever your camera lens is located. So practice enough times that you do not need to read your speech. I recommend 5 to 10 times. I recommend doing it in front of a mirror, recording yourself in front of a small group of friends, as you're walking, as you're commuting, just practicing. That is the one thing that will help you reduce your nerves, and it will help you know where your speech is going. It is the one thing that students have repeatedly said at the end of the speech term that they wish they had done more of, is to practice. There is no way that I can tell you that you are going to completely remove your nerves. Our bodies are built to be somewhat nervous and to look for scary situations. But the more that you do it, the more that you practice, we can squelch some of those feelings of nerves and anxiety. So as you prepare and edit speech number 1, keep those things in mind. Think about where you're going to record. Think about your setup. If you are in a swivel chair like I am currently, make sure that you plant your feet firmly on the ground and that you're not doing a lot of this as you're presenting. Think about things that will distract your audience. So plant your feet firmly, sit up straight, give yourself that confidence, wear something that will make you feel powerful and confident. I don't really have a lot of rules as to what you should or should not wear. If you want to dress up, you certainly can. I just ask that we are able to see you. So if you have a cap that you typically wear, please remove it so that we can see your eyes, especially on camera. Caps tend to kind of hide eyes a bit. And if you have glasses and lighting situations, just be aware of how the light bounces off your camera or off your glasses lenses. And I know that there's not a lot we can do to fix that, but those are just some things to look for. If you have questions about this or anything about Speech 1 or anything in the content for the first few weeks, please email me. I'm happy to respond, and I wish you luck. Happy practicing, and I look forward to your speeches. Take care.